Welcome to my second reflection from Shire Green, Sheffield. This is one of many pictures depicting St. Cuthbert, a 7th century monk. He's pictured here in the company of a raven and an otter. Legend has it that he befriended both animals at different times. The raven, it is claimed, used to bring gifts to Cuthbert during his period of self-isolation as a hermit on one of the Lindisfarne islands, just off the Northumbrian coast. Today you can enjoy a boat trip to the Farne Islands from sea houses, if the weather's right. Grace Darling, whose father was a lighthouse keeper on the Farnes, is celebrated as a heroine in a dramatic sea rescue in those treacherous waters. Holy Island, or Lindisfarne, with its ruined priory and its castle, is isolated from the Northumbrian mainland by the tidal flows twice daily. Cuthbert travelled from Melrose in the Scottish borders about 60 miles to Lindisfarne after St. Aidan, the leader of the Christian community on the island, died in the 630s. The St. Cuthbert Centre is a United Reformed Church building on the island and is now a resource centre for visitors to spend time in prayer and contemplation. When I first came to the centre some 20 years ago, it was to stay in the bothy for a few days of retreat and reflection. At that time, this silk hanging used to greet visitors at the entrance to the chapel. The chapel has now been refurbished and is still open for anyone to spend time there. When Aidan, pictured on the left, when he died, Cuthbert took on the leadership of the community. However, his great desire was to spend time in solitude as a hermit. It is said that he prepared himself for such a life by spending time on the little tidal island near the priory. It is referred to as St. Cuthbert's Island. Now, I have to admit I'm not a great fan of saints per se. My Free Church background suggests there is no need to single out certain people to be put through the process of installation into that great arsenal of big guns in ecclesiastical circles. There is a modern hymn which sums up my own attitude. I sing a song of the saints of God, patient and brave and true, who toiled and fought and lived and died for the Lord they loved and knew. One was a doctor, one was a queen, one was a shepherdess on the green. They were all of them saints of God, and I mean, God helping, to be one too. They lived not only in ages past, there are hundreds of thousands still. The world is bright with the joyous saints who love to do Jesus' will. You can meet them in school or in lanes or at sea, in church or in trains or in shops or at tea. For the saints of God are just folk like me, and I mean to be one too. Jesus self-isolated for 40 days, taking himself off into the Judean wilderness to pray, reflect, and prepare himself for the few years he ministered to the people of Palestine in both word and deed. Some of us today could find ourselves in a similar situation of self-isolation, though not from our own choosing. But we could use the time we have to stand back and look at our own journey through life and see if there's anything further we could do in our own dealings with our neighbours and strangers which might help us to become everyday saints in the making. There are lots of people who are saints to friends and strangers in these times of world crisis. They are medical staff, carers, support staff, food providers, manufacturers and deliverers of protective equipment. Lots others too. Some have a faith, others do not. But they all believe in being a good neighbour and going the extra mile to help others. As I suggested earlier, you don't have to be a Christian hero to be a saint. Walking around Lindisfarne this last February, we came across these wicker sculptures of wild geese near the shore. If you look closely at some of the pictures, you may spot wild geese down in the harbour and flying over the fishing boat. The wild goose is a Celtic symbol of the Holy Spirit. May I leave you with a song from the wild goose community of Iona, another lovely island, and it calls us to follow the footsteps of Jesus and give yourself to the service of others in whatever ways you may feel led, however large or small that service may seem. Maybe this time of change in all our lives can become a kind of pilgrimage into the unknown.